You couldn't hear anything because nobody was talking, I think,
Good
Counselor.
morning.
All right, if your Chambers County Probate Court will come to order, if you're going to testify today, if you would raise your right hand, please.
Right hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct? So help you God.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank
All
you.
right, so you can put your hand down. We're going to start with cause number 13, the interest of Wade Tinsley White. Mr. Fuller, good morning.
Good morning, Judge. I'm present. I'm looking for Rebecca White.
I'm
Are you
here.
there? Rebecca?
Yes, there she is.
And I'm present also, Your Honor.
Good morning, Ms. Nelson.
Good
May I
morning.
proceed? May I proceed, Your Honor?
You may proceed, Counselor.
Ms. White, would you state your name for the court?
Rebecca White.
And you are the mother of the proposed Ward Wade Tinsley White II, is that correct?
I am.
And he resides with you in Chambers County, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
He's an adult male that was born February the 13th, 2007, is that correct?
Yes.
And you're seeking the appointment of guardian of his person, correct?
Yes.
Based on total incapacity, would you just briefly describe to the court the degree of his incapacity?
Sure. Wade is non-mobile, non-verbal, ventilator dependent. He's dependent on another caregiver for all of his needs. He can't feed himself, but he's really, really cute and he's very happy.
And Your Honor, I would ask the court to take judicial notice of the medical examination report that's been filed with the court by Dr. Deborah Booten at this time.
Go down.
Ms. White, we've also investigated any alternatives to a guardianship, and we found no other supportive services that would be available that would be take care of your son. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you're asking the court to be appointed the guardian of the person. Is there any reason why you'd be disqualified to serve as a guardian?
None that I can think of.
Okay. Your Honor, I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Nelson.
Good morning, Miss White.
Good morning.
Miss White, you were previously appointed temporary guardian of your son, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And the purpose of that at that time was you needed to have authority to make decisions for his medical care.
Correct.
And obviously that need will continue into the future.
Yes.
You have complied with all the prerequisites that Mr. Fuller has asked you to do. You've done your training, you've filed your certificate, you've had your background check confirmed, all that. Is that correct?
That is true.
And Your Honor, well, you understand that I have met with both yourself and your son, and I did that prior to this particular application, but at the time that we had the temporary application. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. And again, you think it's in your son's best interest that you, and we have also provided notice to your son's siblings as required.
Yes.
And we were able to serve your son's father as well, and that's been filed as well.
That's from what I understand. Yes.
Okay. I passed the witness, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that's all we have. She currently has a bond in connection with the temporary guardianship, and would hope that that would continue to be sufficient.
Yeah, what is that bond amount? Do you know, Counselor?
Ms. White, it was at
$20 bond?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna leave the bond the same amount. Ms. Nelson, have y'all agreed to a fee, ad litem fee?
Yes, Your Honor. We've actually worked that out without a court order. So
Okay, so we don't need a court order on that. All right, hereby approve the appointing of the guardian of the person of Wade Tinsley White II.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Judge. Have a great day.
Y'all have a
Okay.
good one.
Thank you. All right, cause number 16, the state of Richard Louis Cook.
Good morning, Your Honor. Connor Takota here for the applicant.
Good morning.
Dick Dawson, attorney ad litem.
Good morning, Counselor.
Good
All
morning.
right, you may proceed, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. At first call, our first witness, Mr. Don Burleson. Mr.
Mr.
Burleson,
Burleson, you are muted.
My,
Now,
it says that audio is on. Can you hear me?
yeah, you weren't
Yes, I
muted.
can hear
Mr. Burleson was muted.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you may proceed, Counselor.
thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Burleson, can you state and spell your just state your full name for the record, please?
Donald Edward Burleson.
And you are a family friend of Mr. Richard Cook, is that correct?
Yes,
How many years did you know Mr. Cook, the decedent?
24 years.
To the best of your knowledge, was Mr. Cook ever married?
No,
Did he have any children?
no,
Did Mr. Cook's parents die before him?
yes,
Did he have any siblings?
yes, one brother.
What was that brother's name?
Daniel David Cook.
Okay, thank you. And to the best of your knowledge, did Richard Cook, the decedent, ever discuss leaving a will behind?
Not that I know of.
And you've never seen a will of his, correct?
No.
Thank you. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Burleson, good morning.
Good morning.
My name's Dawson, Dick Dawson. You and I have talked before, and
Yes.
you were acquainted with the decedent Richard Cook, is that correct?
Yes,
And how many years did you know him?
24 years.
Okay, and at the time of his death, was he married or a single person?
Single.
All right, and did he ever bring a significant other into his situation where that person might be claimed a common law wife?
Not that I ever knew of.
Okay, did he have any children?
No.
Were his parents deceased?
Yes.
And how many siblings, brothers and sisters, survived him?
One brother.
Did he have any other siblings?
No.
And was that brother's name Daniel David Cook? Is that correct?
Yes.
And his application for heirship and administration is brought by Daniel David Cook's son, whose name is Darren. Is that right?
Yes.
And how long have you known Darren?
24 years.
Okay, what's Darren's full name, if you know?
Darren Matthew Cook.
All right. And thank you so much. Appreciate you helping the family. Pass the
Thank you.
witness.
I don't have any further questions for this witness, Judge.
All right, call your next witness, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll call Christina Frazier at this time.
Hi, I'm here.
Good morning.
Good
You
morning.
may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Frazier, can you please state your full name for the record?
Christina Frazier.
And you are also a family friend of Richard Cook, the decedent, correct?
I am.
How long did you know Mr. Cook?
I've known the family about 5 years. I met Darren first.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, was Richard Cook ever married?
He was not, to the best of my knowledge.
Did Richard ever have any children?
No,
Did he ever adopt any children?
not that I know of. I never knew any.
And did Richard's parents predeceased him, correct?
Correct.
And he had one sibling, a brother, correct?
That is correct.
What is that brother's name?
We call him David, but
Okay,
his name is Daniel David Cook.
thank you. And to the best of your knowledge, did Richard Cook ever leave a will?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Thank you, Ms. Frazier. Pass the witness.
Mr. Frazier, Dick Dawson here. And did the deceased Richard Cook have any other siblings other than Daniel David Cook?
No, he did not.
As far as you know, were Richard's parents deceased?
Yes.
And did he have any children?
No, he did not.
Do you know if he adopted any children or brought any children in that he claimed as his own?
No, he did not.
And what was the name of his brother? What was the name of Richard Cook's brother?
We called him David, but it was Daniel David Cook.
And this application has been brought by his son, Daniel, or Darren, is that correct?
That is correct.
And how long have you known Darren?
5 years.
Do you have any financial interest, anything to gain by your testimony today?
Not at all.
Have you been paid anything for your testimony?
Not at all.
Thank you. Pass the witness.
Counselor, call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, I'll call the applicant, Darren Cook.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Cook, please state your full name for the record.
My name is Darren Matthew Cook.
And you are Richard Cook's nephew, is that correct?
That is correct.
And your uncle passed away on October 28th, 2023. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And he passed in Montgomery County, but his primary residence and estate is in Chambers County. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And your uncle died without a will, correct?
Correct.
And is there a necessity to administer his estate?
Can you repeat that?
Is there a necessity to administer his estate?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have applied to be the administrator of his estate, correct?
That is correct.
And your father, Daniel Cook, Daniel Cook, who would be the heir, he has signed a waiver agreeing to allow you to serve as administrator without bond. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And in that same waiver, he's also agreed to allow you to have the power of sale under Section 406 of the Estate Code. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have never been convicted of a felony or crime of moral turpitude, correct?
That's correct.
And there is nothing else that would prevent you from serving as or disqualify you from serving as administrator of this estate, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, pass the witness, Your Honor.
Also, any questions of this witness?
Yes, sir. State your full name again, please, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Dawson. My name is Darren Matthew Cook.
Okay, and where did Richard Cook reside, please?
At 12711 Old River Drive in Mont Belvieu, Texas, 77580.
Your knowledge, is that Chambers County, Texas?
Yes, sir.
And he lived there for a number of years, is that correct?
That's correct.
And he was employed at Enterprise Products in Chambers County, is that right?
That's correct.
And where does your father live, Daniel David Cook?
My father lives in Magnolia, Texas. Magnolia, Waller area. He's like right on the county line, right there.
And you're seeking to be appointed independent administrator in the estate of Richard Cook, right?
Yes, sir.
And I notice, are you a veteran?
Yes, sir, I am.
Who did you serve with?
The U.S. Army.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate your service. Pass the
Thank you.
witness.
All right, Counselor.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. At this time, we have no further witnesses. We would ask that the court find that the heirs of the estate of Richard Dawson are Daniel David Cook, and that his son Darren Cook be appointed to serve as administrator without bond.
All right, Mr. Dawson.
Judge, I think we have an agreement on ad litem fees.
Okay, so you agree to the heirship?
Oh,
I'm
yes,
going to the judge
absolutely.
declaring heirship. And I am going to, I have the order on the ad litem fees, which I'm going to approve. And you could have asked me all those questions. Richard and I were actually classmates at Barbers Hill.
I thought your name was familiar, sir.
Uh-huh. And I approve the order granting independent administration authorized letters.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. May we be
Thank you all.
excused?
Have a good day. You may be.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a great day.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Judge.
Yes, sir. All right, cause number 20, the state of Edward Lee Harp. Jackson, good morning. I saw Daniel a while ago. Which one is he?
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. We can hear you now.
Thank
And you may proceed.
Yes, I call my first witness, Miss Heather Burleson. Miss Burleson, please state your full name.
Heather Nicole Hart Burleson.
You're here regarding the estate of Eddie Lee Harp, is that correct?
Yes,
He died on December 3rd, 2024, is that correct?
yes,
He died in Chambers County, is that correct?
correct.
And he was 83 years of age when he died.
Yes,
And he died with a will, is that correct?
correct.
And that will is dated May 24th, 2023, is that correct?
Yes,
And there's a necessity for the administration of the estate, is that correct?
yes,
And this will was self-proved, is that correct? And it's never revoked by him, is that correct?
correct.
And no state governmental agency or charitable organization was named as the advisee. And you were named as the executor of the estate.
Yes,
And there's no reason you'd be disqualified to act as such, is that correct?
correct.
You're asking the court to appoint you as such. Waive appraisers. It's a non-taxable estate, is that correct?
Correct.
It's all the testimony we have, Your Honor.
Everybody admit to will of probate and authorized letters. Thank you, Counselor. Y'all have a good day.
Yeah.
All right, cause number 27, the state of John A. Gregory. Mr. Strong, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor. I had to get something.
Yes, sir. You may proceed.
You need to swear in Ms. Gregory.
Yeah, if we hadn't sworn her in, we do. Raise your right hand, please.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You can put your hand down and you may proceed, Counselor.
All right, you gotta speak loud, Ms. Gregory. State your name, please.
Corinne Gregory.
And you're acquainted with the deceased John Gregory, who was your husband, correct?
Yes,
And how many years are you married?
44.
Wow. All right. Did your husband pass away on February 22nd, 2025 at his home in Baytown?
Yes,
All right. At the time he passed, he was a resident of Chambers County, residing at 3802 West Oak Trail in Baytown, Chambers County, Texas.
yes,
All right. Now, previously followed the original will with the court filed until dated April 9th, 2000. Do you recognize this as your husband's last will? All right. To the best of your knowledge, did he ever revoke his will? All right. Will name governmental in your charitable organization as advising. All right. Divorce. All right. We're children after he made
All this. Mr. Strong, you're cutting out. I don't know what's going on. We can't hear you at all right now. And your picture's froze. Did I lose it? I see him down there. All right, let's go. All right, there you are.
I'm sorry, Judge, couldn't understand. What was the last thing you heard?
I couldn't. Which governmental charitable organization.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Was your husband ever divorced?
No,
All right, and Ms. Fair, or children for you? Are you telling the court there's a need?
You're gone again. Mr. Strong? If you can hear me.
Yes,
we
Your
can-
Honor.
All right, we can hear you now.
All right, I can hear you, Judge. And you're telling the court there is a necessity for administration because there's a house and some other assets need to be conveyed.
yes,
All right, now, you as executor, and you and I discussed the qualifications for executor previously. Are you representing the court that you are qualified to serve as executor?
yes,
Your Honor, this will is self-proved and it's with the law. The state will be exempt, so that's the appraiser bond waived. That's all we
Well
have.
done. And I hereby admit the will to probate and authorize letters before we lose you again. Thank you, sir. All right, cause number 28, state of Betty Ann White.
Your Honor, we're here.
All right, you may proceed, Counselor.
Thank you. Ms. Teams, can you please state your full name for the court?
Becky Lynn White Teams,
And you also go by Becky White Teams, is that correct?
yes,
And you're the applicant in this matter, correct?
yes,
And it's true that your mother, who was Betty Ann White, also known as just Betty White, but also known as Betty Ann Strouder, was the decedent, correct?
yes,
And it's true that your mother passed away on January 25th, 2025 at her residence there in Chambers County, Texas, correct?
yes,
And it's true that she was a resident of Chambers County, Texas at the time of her death, correct? Now, we have previously filed with the court the will dated December 18th, 2012, that purported to be your mother's last will and testament. You were familiar with that will, correct?
yes,
And to the best of your knowledge, that was your mother's last will and testament. She never revoked it or amended it in any way after that fact, correct?
that's correct.
And it's true that after the date of that will, which again was December 18th, 2012, your mother wasn't married or divorced after that time or have any children, correct?
That's correct.
It's true that the will does not provide for any state or any gifts to the state of Texas or to any charity, correct?
Correct.
And there's a necessity for the administration of this estate. You need the letters testamentary, correct? And it's true that the will actually appointed your father, Mr. Jerry Norman White, to serve as the independent executor, but Mr. White, your father, predeceased your mother, correct?
Yes,
And it's true then that the will named you as the successor independent executor, correct?
yes,
And it is also true that you are qualified to serve as such. There's no reason that you would be disqualified, correct?
correct.
And it's true that the state is not of a taxable nature, correct?
Correct.
So Your Honor, we ask that you appoint the will or admit the will to probate, appoint Ms. Teams as the independent executor and waive appraisers, please.
Go down. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Thank you. You too.
All right, cause number 29, state of Jackie Leon Hodges. Mr. Curry.
I'm present, Your Honor, here with Jody Bench.
You may proceed.
Mr. Bench, would you please state your name for the record, please?
Jody Allen Bench.
And were you well acquainted with the decedent, Jackie Leon Hodges?
Yes, sir.
And how did you know Mr. Hodges?
Mr. Hodges was my stepfather for a little shy of 38 years.
Okay, and so your father, he passed away on February 22nd, 2025 in Mount Bellevue, Chambers County, Texas at the age of 81, correct?
Yes, sir, correct.
And that date obviously was less than 4 years ago, correct?
Yes, sir.
And was Mr. Green a resident of Chambers County at the time of his passing?
Mr. Hodges was, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I apologize, Mr. Hodges. And you have a copy of, you provided the will that is dated March 8th, 2020 to me, the original will, and we provided that with the court. Are you familiar with that will?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, was that will ever revoked?
It was not.
And is there a necessity for an administration of your father's estate?
Yes, sir, there is.
Okay. And after the date of the will, did your father adopt any children, or did he have any other children
No,
born
he
after
did
the
not.
date of the will? Okay. And was your father divorced after the date he created his will?
No.
And did your father have any gifts in his will made out to the state of Texas or any charities?
He did not.
Okay. And the will appointed you as the executor in his will. And are as far as you know, are you qualified to serve and accept letters testamentary? Is there anything that you know of that would disqualify you?
There is not, no.
Okay. And did your father receive Medicaid benefits from the state of Texas on or after March 1st, 2005?
I do not believe, no.
Okay, and I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right, everybody admit the will of probate and authorized letters.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Maybe you'd be excused.
You may be. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, cause number 30, the state of Stephen Joseph Pavlot. Morning, darling.
Sorry, Judge, try again. Now you're on mute.
Okay. So did we swear Darla, did you get sworn in?
No, she is not, Judge.
Raise your right hand, please.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, you can put your hand down. You may proceed, Counselor.
Let's hope we do better this time, Judge.
I hope so. Yeah, you sound good right now.
Yeah, okay. State your name for the court, please, ma'am.
Darla Lostavica.
Ms. Lostavica, you're well acquainted with the deceased Stephen Pavlet because that was your father, correct?
Yes.
And he passed away on September 21st, 2024 at his home in Liberty, Texas, correct?
Yes.
And was he a resident of Chambers County at the time of his death, residing at 425 Lightfoot Road, Liberty, Chambers County, Texas?
Yes.
All right. Now we have filed the original will with the court. That's the copy of what we filed. His will dated October 21st, 2011. Do you recognize that as your father's last will?
I do.
All right. To the best of your knowledge, did he ever revoke his will?
No.
All right. You got to speak up.
No.
All right. Does this will name any governmental entity or charitable organization as a devisee or beneficiary?
No.
All right. Was your father ever divorced?
No.
All right. Did he have any children born after he made that will?
No.
You're representing to the court there is a need for administration in order to transfer some assets that he owned at the time of his death.
Yes.
Ma'am, the will appoints you as the alternate executor. Your mother was named as executor, but she's already passed.
Yes.
Also, is that true?
Yes.
All right. And you're asking to serve as the substitute or alternate executor.
Yes.
All right. I've discussed with you the qualifications for executor in the state of Texas. Are you telling the court you are qualified to serve?
I am.
All right. Your Honor, we ask court take note that the will is self-proved in accordance with the statute. The state is going to be non-taxable, and we ask the appointment of appraisers bond be waived.
Done, admit the will of probate and authorized letters.
Thank
Cause
you.
number 31, the state of Bernice May Pavlot, and you may proceed on that one, Counselor.
All right, and Ms. Lavistia has already been sworn in, so state your name for the record, please.
Darla Lostavica.
Well, I assume that, Joe, are you okay with her prior being sworn in?
Oh, yeah, no, we're good. You can proceed.
Okay. Don't assume too much. Ma'am, you're well acquainted with the deceased because this was your mother.
Yes.
All right. And she passed away on November 20th, 2024 at her home in Liberty.
Yes.
All right. And was she a resident of Chambers County at the time of her death, residing at 425 Lightfoot Road in Liberty, Chambers County, Texas?
Yes.
All right. Again, the same as with your father. I'm showing you the copy of the original will that was filed with the court, dated October 21st, 2011 also. Do you recognize that as your mother's last will?
Yes.
All right. To your knowledge, did she ever revoke her will?
No.
Does her will name any governmental entity or charitable organization as a devisee?
No.
Was your mom ever divorced?
No.
All right. Were there any children born to your mother after she made her will?
No.
All right. And again, you're telling the court there's a need for administration to convey assets that your parents have left, correct?
Yes.
And same as with your father's will, he was named as executor on your mother's will, but he also passed, as we know. And you are the alternate executor, is that correct?
Correct.
Again, I've discussed qualifications of executors, state of Texas, and you're representing to the court you are qualified to serve.
Yes.
All right. Again, Your Honor, take notice it is self-proved. Same thing, we ask that the appraisers and bond be waived.
Done and admit the will to probate.
All right.
Thank you. Darla, take care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Your Honor.
All right, cause number 36, the state of Willie Wesley Dickerson.
That's us, Your Honor.
Good morning. We need to swear.
Morning.
We need to swear
she
you
was
in
sworn
there,
in.
right?
Yeah, she
You've
was
been
sworn in.
Okay,
Okay.
you
Yes,
better
Your
say
Honor.
that.
Hey, Christy, were you able to? I was a little late on my homework. Did you get the order to judge for me?
I believe Marangeli is handing it to him.
As we
Look
speak.
at that. Look at that. I got 10 points off, but
That's teamwork right
I
there.
got it
There you
in.
go.
Thank you. Okay, so Miss Dickerson, will you state your full name?
Leticia Davila.
Oh, and Your Honor, I'm calling my first witness is Leticia Davila, what she said.
Okay.
All right, Miss Davila, what was your relationship to Willie Wesley Dickerson?
I'm his wife.
You were his wife, right? And isn't it true that he passed away on September 21st, 2024?
Yes.
And at that time, he passed away, or when he passed away, it was in Chambers County, Texas, and he was 79 years of age.
Yes.
And obviously, 4 years have not elapsed since he has passed, correct?
Yes.
Furthermore, isn't it true that he was a resident and domiciled in Chambers County, Texas?
Yes.
And the will that you provided me, you were familiar with that will, correct?
Yes.
And that document, to your knowledge, it was dated May 21st, 2021.
Yes.
And to your knowledge, that will was never revoked, was it?
No.
No, it was never revoked. And because there's a will and it's your belief that there is a need to administer this estate, correct?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Willie, he had no children that were born or adopted after that will was executed.
No.
Yeah, you'd know that, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Okay. And your marriage was never dissolved.
No.
Now, Willie didn't want to give anything in his
No.
will. He didn't want to give anything to the state of Texas.
No.
Right? He didn't want to give anything to the state of Texas, nothing to any state agency.
No.
And he didn't want to give anything to any charitable organization, correct?
No.
So the will is named you to be the executor of the estate, correct?
Yes.
And you're not a convicted felon, correct?
Right.
Okay, and there's no other reason why you shouldn't be able to be the executor of this estate, correct?
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, hereby admit the will to probate and authorize letters. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day.
Yep.
All right, cause number 37, the state of Carol Ann Leslie.
I'm here.
Order, Mr. McCall.
Yes, sir.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Your name is Etheridge Kyle, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Your mother was Carol Ann Leslie,
That's correct.
and she passed away on January 30th of this year, is that right?
That's also correct.
And she died in Beaumont, but she had her fixed place of residence in Chambers County on the day she passed away?
Yes, sir.
And she had a valid written will you brought to me that was dated November 28th of 2012. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You remember that will? You're familiar with it?
I am.
And so far as you know, she never revoked that will, did she?
No, she did not.
Okay. And there's a necessity to probate her will because she owns some real estate that needs to be transferred out of her estate. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
She didn't leave anything to any charity or governmental entity as far as you know.
No, she did not.
Okay. And she didn't have any children born to or adopted to her after the date of the will?
She did not.
And she never got divorced after the date of the will?
No, sir, she did not.
The will named you to be the independent executor to serve without bond. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And we've talked about you're not disqualified in any way from serving because you're not a felon or a fugitive from the law. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And you filed the application to probate her will, and you're here today asking that the court approve that application and appoint you as the independent executor of her estate. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Everybody admits the will to probate and authorize letters.
Thank you,
counsel.
Judge.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes,
All
sir.
right.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, cause number 39, the state of Ted Reeve Rumery.
Morning, Joe.
Good morning. State your name for the record, counselor. I'm kidding. Have we sworn her in?
Yes, Judge.
We did? Okay, I can't hear you, Daniel. And you're not muted. No, I think it's your connection. Say something again.
Hello.
We heard you then.
A little bit louder.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out.
Should I call phone number maybe? That help?
No, barely hear you. Maybe your internet connection. I mean, your Wi-Fi or whatever it is.
We're on that Liberty Wi-Fi.
Or maybe a computer.
Could be computer. Give me 1 minute.
Maybe restart it. Let me skip you and we'll come back to you. All right, cause number 40, the state of Aaron K. Jackson. Mr. Davidson,
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
good morning. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please state your name for the court.
William Robert Jackson.
And you're the decedent, Aaron K. Jackson, was your mom, is that right?
Correct.
And she passed away on March 18th, 2024, Baytown, Chambers County, Texas, at the age of 87, is that right?
Correct.
And at the time of her passing, she had a fixed place of residence in Chambers County, correct?
Correct.
And to the best of your knowledge, the document that's been filed with the court, which purports to be her last will and testament dated October 7th, 2010, was in fact her last will and testament and was never revoked, was it?
No.
Your Honor, I request the court take judicial notice that the original is in the court's possession.
Oh, no.
No state, governmental agency, or charitable organization is named in the will as a devisee, are they?
No.
And after your mom made the will, there were no children born to or adopted by her, were there?
No.
And there were no marriages dissolved after the date of the will, were there?
No.
Her will names your dad to serve as independent executor, but he predeceased her. And alternatively, it named you to serve as independent executor without bond. Is that right?
Correct.
And you are qualified and not disqualified to serve in that capacity, aren't you?
No.
You're qualified
Oh, I am qualified.
and not disqualified.
Not disqualified.
Gotcha. Your Honor, we're asking that the court admit the will to probate and that William Robert Jackson be appointed as independent executor to serve without bond.
So done. Well, good to see you.
Good to see
Very
you too,
good.
Judge.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
Thank
good
you.
afternoon.
Take care. All right, Daniel, you want to try it again? But you're muted now.
Can y'all hear me better now?
Oh, we can hear you now. You may proceed on cause number 39.
All right, Judge, I've got Miss Jill Romaine Mulligan here. Miss Mulligan, is it true that Ted Reeve Rumery died on February 22nd, 2025 in Anahuac, Chambers County, Texas, at the age of 73 years, and that 4 years have not elapsed since the date of his death?
Yes.
And is it true that Ted Rumery was domiciled and had a fixed place of residence in Chambers County at the date of his death?
Yes.
And is it true that his will dated February 3rd, 2012, was never revoked as far as you know?
Yes.
And is it true that a necessity exists for the administration of his estate?
Yes.
And is it true that no child or children were born to or adopted by the decedent after the date of his will?
Correct.
And is it true that the decedent was not married at the time of his death?
Correct.
And is it true that you, as the independent executor named in the will, are not disqualified from accepting letters testamentary or from serving as such, and that you're entitled to letters testamentary?
Yes.
And is it true that no state or charitable organization was named as a devisee in the decedent's will? Is that true?
Yes.
Judge, I've got no further questions for this witness.
All right, everybody, Mr. Will of Probate, authorized letter.
Thank you.
Counselor.
Thank you, Judge.
And I saw Rick on a minute ago, but I don't see him now, but we get him, we're gonna go to cause number 41, the state of
He's got his hand up.
Louise Dillard. There he is. Oh, I thought he was on his own, but he's not. He's in your
I
office.
did too.
Right next to me in my office.
All right. Did we swear you in, Rick?
Yes, sir.
No? We
Okay.
did? Okay. You may proceed then.
Rick, is it true that Winnie Louise Dillard died on January 20th, 2025 in Old River, Chambers County, Texas, at the age of 81 years, and that 4 years have not elapsed since the date of his death? Her death.
Yes.
And is it true that the decedent was domiciled and had a fixed place of residence in Chambers County at the date of her death?
Yes.
And is it true that the document dated August 15th, 2023, which purports to be her will, was never revoked as far as you know?
Yes.
And is it true that a necessity exists for the administration of her estate?
Yes.
Is it true that no child or children were born to or adopted by the decedent after the date of the will?
Yes.
And is it true that the decedent was not divorced or had her marriage annulled or declared void after the date of the will?
Yes.
And is it true that no state or charitable organization was named as a devisee in her will?
Yes.
And is it true that you, as the independent executor named in the will, are not disqualified by law from accepting letters testamentary or from serving as such, and that you are entitled to such letters?
Yes.
Your Honor, I've got no further questions for this witness.
Mr. Will of Probate and authorized letter. Good to see you both.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Have a good day.
You too.